Hello and good morning. This video is for Tuesday, January 12th if you missed English 10. The first part of the class concerned with us finishing this assignment right here, roles for the czar. You have about half an hour to finish that, so make sure that you do so. Just looking over it, one of the big things is that you need to make sure that you are using complete sentences, or I will not answer, or I will not grade the assignment. Make sure that you take your time in answering these questions, and make sure that with your definitions that you find where these words are out of line and make original sentences with those. The second part of class, we worked on verbs. So if you remember, nouns are person, place, things, or ideas. Pronouns replace a noun. So it was like I, me, my, these, those, why, who. Those are relative pronouns. But you should always take a moment to go back and look at that stuff just so you can get that into your head, kind of like drilled into your mind. Why learn about verbs? Verbs can be tricky to identify in sentences, and many students don't recognize what words are actually verbs. Most incomplete sentences, as students write, tend to not have auxiliary or helping verbs, so it greatly hurts the writing. By understanding verbs more, you will become a more coherent and intelligent writer. What is a verb? A verb is a word that expresses action or state of being, is, are, seemed. Those are the verbs I was kind of talking about, people not seeing. What are two classes of verbs? A linking verb links the subject to the noun or adjective in the predicate. So in the outfield, the boy felt confident. He was the best fielder around. I like the idea of linking verbs. Because they combined the sentence, they link it together. Auxiliary verbs or helping verbs are used to form tenses, the mood, and the voice of the main word. In the example below, the auxiliary verbs are underlined, the main verb is bolded. Example, the mud had flown quickly down the mountain, covering everything in a path. It should be example, whatever. That's what, I like how this looks. Yeah? Yeah, we still have good. Okay, this looks fun. Example, by the time the rain had stopped, the rescuers were faced with the daunting task of sliding through the mud to help those who had survived. So helping verbs are also, or auxiliary verbs, also helpful in basically making sure that your sentence is written grammatically correctly. I have a couple of lists of different verbs here, and again, these lists are really, really important if you are not as knowledgeable about these subject matters as you feel that you may be. It's just kind of the way it is. It's either go through and memorize this list, or make sure you use this list as a common reference. So we have common linking verbs: is, are, was, were, be, been, am. Additional linking verbs: smell, seem, grow, become, appear, sound, taste, feel, get, remain, stay, look, turn. Common auxiliary verbs: is, was, being, did, have, would, shall. So as we can see, we occasionally see these verbs connecting, but remember, with a auxiliary verb, there's going to be another verb right afterwards. So identify the linking or auxiliary verb sentence below, then identify whether the verb is a linking or auxiliary verb. So we know it's going to be a linking verb if there is not a verb afterwards. So Yvette is a woman who loves to garden. Is, linking. She can get just about anything. Can get, can is going to be the verb, and it's going to be an auxiliary verb because we have get right afterwards. Okay, good. Can's there. Just double checking. Mr. McDonald knows this stuff, but he doesn't know whether or not they're in the examples. Several of her friends are helping her. Again, are is going to be an auxiliary verb because it has this helping right afterwards. And that's your assignment. And then we have down here transition. Sorry, a transition verb is an action verb that needs to have an object to complete its meaning. The city council passed a strict ordinance. What did they pass? An ordinance. Intransitive verb communicates an action as upon itself. It does not need an object to receive the action. Example: the boy flew on his skateboard. He jumped and flipped and twisted. I don't know why I have that underlined. I'll underline that for future. An intransitive verb communicates action upon itself. So who flew? The boy. It doesn't tell as far as it's not after the verb. So we look after the verb, we find the action. That's what we know. Devante plays the guitar as one of his hobbies. What does Devante play? The guitar. It comes after the verb. That's why it's transitive. They really don't sing very well. What do they don't sing very well? Or what do they not sing? Let's say they don't sing. So this is going to be intransitive. Despite that they auditioned for the city talent show, what did they audition for? City talent show. It's afterwards. The judges invited the band back. Who did they invite back? The band. The band bought some fun clothes. What'd they buy? What'd they sing? Simone plucked the strings of her bass. What'd she pluck? There's a lot of transitional verbs as far as things go. Well, I guess down here, this is a lot of intransitive verbs. That is going to be your assignment for today. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Mr. McDonald out.